So Gonky,
Oh,
Super Hornets are getting marked with drones.
look
Tell
at
me about
this.
this.
Yeah. So the Eisenhower is out there, and we've been talking about it. Super Hornets going up and repelling the drones. So I guess the BBC was out there taking some pictures, and they noticed that there was some silhouettes of drones on the side of some of the Hornets taxiing around the ship. So it's I got a little irritated because in the article they reached out to CENTCOM for the, like, hey, can you expand on this? And I'm thinking, no, never ever
Got
reach
them in
out.
trouble.
Yeah, because when you paint, painting that stuff on the side of an airplane like that, I think it's a morale booster, right? I mean, you got so many young guys and gals that work so hard on a carrier where the conditions suck. It's super hot, it's crappy. And they get these jets flying. I mean, they're, round the clock, and they don't get to actually see what the airplanes are doing. And I think, man, when they come back, if I remember when I was, when we were doing combat apps, we came back with the bombs gone, right? That job well done for the ordies. And if you're doing stuff like painting mission stuff like strikes, drone kills on the side of the airplane, I think it's great for morale. And it really pissed me off if CENTCOM's like, oh, I can't have that, get that off the airplanes kind of stuff.
Did they do that?
No, but we live in such a sensitive time. I could see somebody be like, this hurts my feelings.
It hurts the feelings of the drone operators everywhere.
I think it's cool, man. Now, is a drone the same thing as shooting down another piloted airplane? I don't think so. But I mean, a kill's a kill. I mean, they got bomb strikes on there, right? How many missions that jet's dropped on? I think it's good for morale. I don't see anything wrong with it. Mover, did you guys do stuff like this?
No,
at all. When 15 years ago, however long 07 was, we didn't paint. I mean, every jet.
Yeah, you'd have no more room.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, let's put some on the inside of the gear doors.
Continued on page 2, you'd have
right, exactly. So right. But I mean,
there was stuff in the gear doors.
Was there? Okay.
Stuff. Yeah. Every now and then you'd have a jet that had some stuff in the gear doors from it. But I mean, dude, you mentioned the BBC pissing you off. The BBC,
they were the
ones that got it wrong about the Marine.
Yeah.
That was not an ace.
Earl.
Yeah. So, I mean, are they getting this right? I mean,
well, I mean, I know they're actually painting, the silhouettes of drones on the side of airplanes because we have the pictures to prove it. But, is it right to be like, oh, well, let's see what the 4-star over at CENTCOM says about this? I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
that's how they are, though. Could you have a comment for this story? Like, no.
Yeah. It's like CENTCOM did not immediately respond.
That's how they are. They just look for something to.
Yeah, because the Business Insider was request seeking clarification on the markings in the photo published by the Navy last week. It's like,
what you do?
You don't let them on the damn boat anymore.
Kick them off.
Yeah, it's like, if you guys are just coming over here to just pee in our Cheerios, beat it.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
stuff
ask
like
stupid
that.
questions.
Yeah, especially the Eisenhower, man, they're getting worked right now, and anything to disrupt morale, I think, is bad. And this kind of, I mean, Mover, even in the Red Air world, right? I mean, in our, we really did have a ready room, right? Because we were in a Navy space, but right, we had our kills up in the ready room, and there was.
Could you imagine if BBC, the news organization, not any other acronyms, if they went into the ready room and saw that, ask a lieutenant, "What's that mean?" "Oh, sir, that's where we killed a raptor with our T-38."
Oh,
What?
dude. Tell
That
me
would have
more.
been, yeah, that
Tell
would have
me
been
more.
front page. 60-year-old trainer kills
Yeah.
F-22, showing incompetence of the entire F-22 fleet. And it's like, you don't know. It goes back, that kind of stuff. Like, it's
aggravating.
yeah, but that's what you talked about. That's what's happening with a lot of these Boeing aircraft and a lot of the airlines, is that when they latch on to something and they realize that it gets clicked because it gets people spun up, they just keep running with it over and over. And this is the same thing. I mean, it didn't. I don't think it has, gone anything. But let's say it had. I mean, can you imagine what it would have done to morale? If they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, we just showed that, we're proud of the fact that we're getting attacked by Houthi drones, and we're shooting them down," and like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, dude, when I was a rag IP, there was a certain, political leadership at the time was different, and the skipper was like, I don't have time to go over every call sign. He took all the call signs and names off the jets, and
oh my god,
that sucked. Like,
yeah.
I liked seeing. I mean, not even my name. I just liked seeing the names and call signs on the jets. I walked past and I just chuckled to myself, like, how could I don't know. It's people sticking their nose in other people's business. It's like, the fighter pilot business and the business of war is the business of war. And you don't need, if you don't want to be a part of that, that's fine. In the US, it's a volunteer force, right? You volunteer to go out and do stuff like this. And it takes a certain kind of person to do it. And those kind of people are going to, respond differently to things. I mean,
World War II would have never. I mean, it just never would have. I mean, with the stuff they painted on the side of airplanes in World War II.
Yeah, girls.
I mean,
yeah.
anything. All right.